Alrighty, bright and early this time. I forgot I usually click record with that, but that's fine. Hello everybody. It is I, Niab, Akaoni, whatever the fuck we want to say. Welcome back to yet another 3-0 reaction. This time, right on time. Kinda, sorta. It's been 6 minutes since the episode dropped, but relatively on time. I'm going out of frame there while I adjust myself. But yeah, hello. Welcome. Definitely been looking forward, obviously, to watching more of this and everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just welcome back. We're here to watch episode 2. We finally get to most likely go into the actual meat of arc 6, right? Which I'm curious to see how much they cut down on some of the more like travel sort of aspects of it that I mentioned last time. But I guess we'll see with this. It's weird. I usually have like a proper, longer sort of intro, I guess, for this sort of stuff. But not much else to say right now. We're still early in Arc 6. There's nothing too big going on, right? So, of course, it is what it is. Hell, even the previous episode was wrapping up Arc 5, and then the other half of it was Arc 6. But still, we get to be here now, actually going through Arc 6, and this is going to be great. Also, just random small side note for anybody on the main channel, next week for the live reading sessions of Arc 9, like the final volume of Arc 9. I knew that this week wasn't a guarantee, but I can definitely say next week. I don't know how early or late it may be, but I think definitely next week will be the moment where I do so, unless I get sick prior to that, right? So hopefully not. Hopefully I'm all good before that. But otherwise, we're here for Art 6, Arc 6. So let's do this, shall we? Let's get this all set up here. 1, 2, right? Nice and ready. And now I get to get this properly set like usual. I get to go over here just to make sure. And we get to sync this up. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good. No errors like last time. Ooh, I'm very excited. Very excited. Again, Arc 6 is a big one for me, so it's nice to see what we're gonna experience here. Can't wait. I also found out that despite my audio not being that loud, sometimes the mic does pick it up a little bit. It did for the previous episode, and I was kind of surprised by that. But it only picked it up when, I'm forgetting her name, but Garfield's mom was whispering, which was interesting. Just in case, I am actually going to turn it down just a little bit. uh, I do like that interesting aspect with Meilei's whole character is just the fact that she's that familiarized and has a lot of mobbies around her. This creates a problem for like ground dragons and everything. Yeah, and then she's a little bit more wise with her. Hmm. I never realized that the star in his outfit is actually like fully cut out, which actually makes that a pretty cool shot in the sense that you can fully see everything. There it is. This is an aspect I always do enjoy with Rizu, and part of it's like, Subaru kind of helping out with some of those aspects, but the idea that despite being this fantasy world and all this, like almost high fantasy sort of stuff, not really high fantasy, but like, almost blending into that because of the stuff with Subaru, uh, it leans into this thing where it's like, oh yeah, there's all these inventions that are made that are much like our own world, and there it is. There's the intro. I was thinking about it again. I'm like, the intro might be growing on me, right? I've been listening to it more. I'm like, it might be growing on me. I don't know how high I'll hold it, but it's definitely better than I had originally thought. This part is very good, I will say. And of course, visually, I love that part. I think, oh, so damn good. You know, I did just because we've already talked about the intro. I mean, I could have done talk about it more if I wanted to. I almost wanted to try and do the joke that I tried to do with the end of Arc 5. But I think I'll save that for later episodes. I think I'll wait it out and see if I can do that joke. It'll make sense if I explain it when we get to that point, but otherwise we'll keep it simple for now. I know what I'm saying here makes no sense, but well, you'll all understand when the time comes, if it comes. I'll explain it. Oh, there's the scene. There it is. I'm glad I knew way ahead of time. Like, yeah, like I even brought it up with the opening reaction of, yeah, I know people are gonna be talking about that one a whole lot. Not surprising at all. Hmm. And this is the teaser. This is the teaser we saw with Arc 5. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I guess not Arc 5, but you know what I mean. When the final Arc 5 episode came out, and then warm. There it is. Or I guess hot, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I guess they're gonna explain the whole sand time sort of stuff, which is it's a very interesting sort of thing to kind of go over with all this. This is also something like I know it's like typical sort of like trope sort of thing of like, don't enter this area or you'll die. Um, but I do like that the tower specifically is this big thing of like as you mentioned, like 400 years, it's like nobody's fucking gone there, right? Like it's this whole thing of just don't even try it, right? And like that's another like again, similar stuff you've seen from other series, but that sort of aspect of like someone that has seen tons of people come here and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go in and conquer this sort of stuff," and then they disappear, nowhere to be seen. Also, there's the coins, beautiful, love that. That's such now with additional context, now with additional side story context, that's such a wild thing to hear. Because like now we know, right? Now we fucking know, which like now I'm wondering, right? This is something I can now say as like somebody who's, read it and everything. Sorry for hitting that. This always happens. Um the fact that we now have extra info regarding birds, and it's like, oh yeah, there's much more to consider with that info. It's fucking crazy. And it leads me to go like, well, what does this mean, right? And then also, yeah, this is interesting with the whole like it makes sense with the whole thing of Julius as a result of being scrambled for everybody else. Even the spirits have trouble with him. I love that shit. I love that detail. It's so damn clever to just kind of put that in there because yeah, it makes sense. Like they count their life forms. Mm. I did kind of forget that Subaru is on Patrochet, like separate from the carriage. I kind of forgot about that detail a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I will say, I don't know that we had an image prior. The carriage and everything, weirdly for once, is something that I did actually imagine like this, right? everything else that they've kind of shown with some of the stuff is stuff that it's like, whoa, like I never imagined it like this. Even with Arc 5 stuff and everything. The carriage here is like, no, I know we've had like carriages before in the series, but this sort of like specific look to it is like, yeah, no, I imagined this, right? I imagined something very much like this, and it's like it's interesting that it's like, yeah, this of all things I actually kind of could figure out, which I guess helps that we've had carriages before in the series, but just this general layout and everything, it's interesting. So they are not cutting down hard on it, but definitely a little bit less of the interactions that were normally there, which I think is fine. Because again, I don't think you should remove every interaction because then that takes away from like, characters and their personalities, that building around them that's small but significant. Um but the fact that it's cutting out enough that it's like, okay, let's not like focus too much on a shit ton of stuff here of like characters just speaking, right? And keeping it very simple. And I think it helps that characters speaking in real time is a lot easier to go by than reading that, right? And seeing prose in between. Because the prose is just actions they do, ultimately. Also, surely the sand would get inside with that, right? And then, yep, here it comes. The worm. That's a really good shot. I know it's like CGI worm, but that's a pretty good shot for that. I like that. I forgot these sandworms have like very simple names. Unlike some of the other mobbies in the series, they're literally just sandworms. Like it's as simple as that for their name. That is interesting. That actually I didn't see. This is what I'm talking about. Is like this sort of scenery is something I did not picture. That's the Olgarms. Like this is so cool seeing the ice wall and everything. Like they made it clear there's ice walls and all that, but oh, and then showing that via just visuals. That's good. That's good. I like that. So they're definitely speeding up the process a bit, like I mentioned, but not to a degree, at least from everything I can recall, that is all too bad. Especially because I think a lot of it's still going to be explained with the stuff that's important here. So this is one of the big dangers of it. Isn't even mobbies around that. I mean, that is a huge danger, right? As Melee showed. But like, just in general, the idea of even if you could deal with them, the time here is like kind of warped. Is it maybe not time, but just like this whole sort of thing is really warped to such a degree that it's like it's a pain in the ass to even get there. So you'll either die of exhaustion, or your exhaustion will lead the mobbies to killing you. It's so damn interesting. I like it a lot. This is such a small thing of the arc that I end up enjoying a lot, and it's like that's so simple compared to everything that comes later. That was a really cool shot of the clairvoyance. I like that. That was good. B. This is also something I forgot to mention this earlier on at the start of the episode. This is an aspect I really love about Ram's involvement in this arc. Ram is very pivotal for this journey, along with how significant it is for her. But one of the coolest aspects is just the fact that Roswell's not here. Roswell is the reason that she can have her magic restored and everything, right? And that she's fine with not having a horn. By not having him around, it creates this problem where she has to rely on everybody else. And oh boy, yeah. Um and by reaching this point with her where she's like this far in and they have to rely on her a bit and everything, it creates this difficult situation where they can't overwork her or else that's it, right? And it's like there's not much they can do to help her after a while. So it's this interesting thing where it's like not necessarily a time limit, but there is a restriction here for what they can do, and I like it a lot. And of course, yeah, here's the birds. Again, the context of the birds. I obviously can't say anything, but the context of the birds here, in reference to what we now know, and it's like, what is the intention, right? What is the fucking intention here? Ah, I'm so curious for some of the things going on. Uh I don't even know if end of some of the later stuff might even explain it. There it is. Mm. And that's an aspect I also really enjoy about the whole sand time. Mm. That was really good. That was a really good fucking performance. Um, I feel like I want to wait a minute to talk about that because there's an aspect of that I really enjoy. Yep, the bears. Now I remember in the trailer, I know some of the shots of them looked a little awkward. For the most part, they are drawn. Like here, they look great, but I think there was some shots in the trailer where they looked a little bit awkward. But it's good. I like this tension, and then yep, because naturally it's a ground dragon. It's gonna feel intimidated by a mob beast, and then here they all are. Hmm. Now to briefly say it, just as quick as I can, the other aspect I love about the sand time stuff is the fact that the whole point of it is that no, you need to go while sand time is going. And that's why it's so dangerous, right? Mobby sand time blocking your view, boom. Oh, and then yeah, ram out of nowhere in front. Oh, that is a really good. Oh, okay. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool scene for him. But yeah, that aspect of sand time as well is like, ooh, right? And that creates a scenario where it's like, yeah, no shit, people would die because nobody would think to start moving when the sand time is going. There it is. Hmm. So yeah. I was gonna say I'm curious if this episode is gonna get to this part. Wow. Wow. I said this about Arc 5, but that was a lot more than I was expecting. Oh, his eyes there are perfect. Wow, I did not expect them to show that whole thing. Yeah, wow, we are this is like chapter 7 or 8. Yeah, no, we are. I mean, I know it's not surprising they're gonna adapt multiple chapters into episodes, but like, yeah, we're getting pretty quickly into it. Oh, and then a new shot for it. I like that. I like that. Cool to not see fully reused stuff. Like I know that is, but like cool to see that shot be completely brand new. Hmm. But yeah, the fact that we're going pretty quickly here, but it doesn't feel like too much is really lacking. I'm glad. I'm glad that this relieves a lot of the worries I have, and it's not done yet, obviously, but it relieves a lot of worries. Ooh, very simple shot, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. Yep. Ooh, that was nice. That looked real good. Is this? I think what comes next is what I think. Hmm. I don't know that that was entirely true in a sense. No time for that. Ooh, yeah, there it is. Oh my god! Wow, wow, they upped the gore hard. Oh no, oh dude, I hated reading this scene. Wow, they upped it hard. I hated reading this scene, and I don't like seeing it here. Uh, yep. Oh, that shot is brutal. Fuck. No. Oh, that hurts 1,000 times more to see. That's so much worse than reading it. That is unbelievably worse than reading it. Like legit 1,000 times. Ooh. Dude, this is episode 2. This is episode 2, and I'm already so happy with this adaptation. Oh, I can't wait for the later parts of this. This is gonna be so good. You know what I can't speak on it, but you know what I can't wait for? What the trailer started with. That one trailer. What that one trailer started with. I can't wait for that scene. If that's what this shit looks like, I can't wait. Oh, and I love that they keep that explanation in there. Didn't cut it because that's relevant for this. So good. So damn good. Oh man. And we don't get the ending this episode, that's fine. I kind of figured as much, but that confirms it. Seeing the credits there, that confirms it. I'm going to double check just how long is left, just so I know when to pause. Because if there's no credit, well, I guess I'll see the title. That scene was it was so beautifully done. In a sense, in a horrible way, but it's like, oof, ooh, whoa, that was fucking crazy with the. All right, dude, this is episode 2. We can't be going this crazy on episode 2. Mm, there it is. The blood in the eye and everything. Oh, oh, there it is. I love their team up moves so much, especially throughout this arc. There's so many good ones. I mean, there's some, of course, in Arc 5, like early on, but oof. Yep. And therefore, oh shit, I just realized next episode. Oh, I forgot about that aspect of it. Oh yeah, the next episode. Oh, there she is. Oh, that's good. All right. All right. That was great. That was let me stop the timer there, reset that, everything. Wow. Episode 2 alone and that was good. That adapted again, it swiftly adapted so much of this that I was hoping it would do in a sense with all this, but still kept enough in. And then, oh, the second death there. Again, reading that second death alone is painful, but the way that was done, the fact that, like, first off, being blunt about it, gore, right? Uh, I don't think it is necessary 247 in a sense to have gore, right? I'm not gonna be like I'm big gore guy. I need that to be in there all the time, right? But I think for a series like ReZero that has its deaths described in such a like visceral way, right? It's kind of significant to show that in a sense, to show the weight of those deaths, right? Uh, it's a weird thing to say in a sense, right? But it exists like that. Um, and I think the Arc 2 manga, I almost said Act 2. I'm fucking but like my brain's only going for my shit right now for some reason. I think the Arc 2 manga kind of showed that a lot, right? Where the light novel kind of didn't, and the other arcs in the manga did kind of show, but didn't fully have there. But I feel like the Arc 2 manga showed it the most of just having that very visceral sort of gore, showing that like the weight of those deaths. And the fact that we get it depicted here, finally, after all this time, having something that's that extreme of like Patroche and just like the ribs and everything and the guts. And then also with Subaru, you can kind of see that in the hole and everything. Oof, that alone is like, okay, that makes it disturbing. And then it moves on to Beatrice's reaction to that. And that's something you hate to see because the obvious thing to point out is until now, Subaru hasn't died while she was like around with him, right? Arc 5, he had deaths, but usually either she wasn't there or, well, actually, no, in general, she wasn't there. Like, even with the Reinhard one, she wasn't there, right? It wasn't until after the fact where he asked for her help, and then that's where the deaths stop with Arc 5, right? So we haven't once seen her reaction to something like that. And this is the first time you get it. And again, reading that normally in the web novel is rough because it's a reaction of, as you saw there, she doesn't want him to leave her, right? She doesn't want to be alone again. Literally, the whole point of Choose Me was getting her out of that, right? So now she's left alone again. And that breakdown there hurts so much, seeing Subaru bleeding out, and that the fact that she's seeing that, knowing that she can't do much to fix him in this state, right? That's it, right? And just constantly hugging him and crying and all this. And then the second shot, and the fact that the shot comes down, cuts off her sentence, is way louder than anything else, blurs out the screen, and by the point that you see them again, it's just her flat on top of him dead, right? And she fades into nothing. And the worst part is he's still alive. Like you get this barely alive, eye just looking around, seeing the next shot coming in. Wow, that was depicted perfectly. And then of course the follow-up shots, the ram like eye bleeding, Julius smacking the shot down, EMT, all that. Ooh, we're on episode 2. I can't wait for the next episode. I know what the next episode has. I can't fucking wait. If this is what this episode looks like and this is what we're doing from now on, right, with the series, I can't fucking wait for the next episode. That one's gonna be so damn good. Anybody who's anime only, get ready. Get fucking ready. This next episode is gonna be, it's gonna be so damn good. It's gonna characterize a lot of them really well. In a certain sense, you gotta take it from a certain aspect of what's going on, right? But we'll get there when we get there. I guess next week. Wow, that was good. Wow. I'm gonna be talking about that probably during the reading sessions. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends. Depends on what timing with that is like and everything. But wow, I'm gonna have a lot to say with that when we get to the reading sessions. Fuck. That was good. That was really fucking good. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that was genuinely, that was fantastic. That was awesome, right? For just a second episode alone, that was awesome. Okay, that'll be it for this episode, I guess. We'll be back next week for an episode I'm very excited for because I know the stuff it'll have and I can't wait to see how they do it. Ooh, ooh, we're still so early in the arc. I want to point out we're still on the first volume. We are still on what's the equivalent of the first volume. We're getting close to the like relative end of it. I think in the next couple of episodes we'll probably be there. Either the next episode or the one after will be there. But whew, I can't wait. Oh, this is so damn exciting. Okay, I'm gonna head out for now. Right, that's all. Everything. Live reading session soon, like I mentioned. Again, I don't know if they'll be early or late or whatever it may be, in the week. But they will be soon. Honestly, maybe early, because then I can do some polls on stream for a very specific character in a game. Um, but we'll see about that. Regardless, take care. Have yourselves a great day, great night, whatever it may be. Stay safe, and I will see you all next week with presumably a very exciting episode that will have just as fantastic animation and voice acting and fuck it, just everything, the whole package, when we get there. So have a great day, peeps. That'll be all.